Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Last 4 weeks has been very eventful in the context of oil market. So since the Russian invaded Ukraine on February 24th, the oil price started skyrocketing. At one point, the oil price went to as high as 139, which was the highest since 2008, and then eventually it came down, and at this point it's hovering around $100. Recently it went down below $100 as well, and it remains volatile. So it's very hard to forecast like where the oil price will be or whether it will go up or down. But as the geopolitical shocks will evolve, the oil price will continue to be volatile, and it will become a headache for many countries that are not resource rich, which the countries that are importing a large part of their oil, and on the other hand the countries that are resource rich, the countries that export oil, will be a net beneficiary of these geopolitical events as well. In this video I will try to explain how the oil price is affecting the Asian stock markets. So in the Asian region, with respect to oil, some countries are resource rich and some countries are resource poor. So for example, Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, these are the countries that are resource rich countries, and they are the major beneficiary of this geopolitical shock. So let's look at some of the countries' stock market that is being affected positively or negatively because of this high oil price. So let's talk about Australia. So oil and natural gas account for more than 15% of the export earnings of Australia. So the country is a world leader in producing and exporting metals and minerals, including coal, iron ore, and gold. Material firms account for almost 1/4 of the benchmark stock index, which is the S&P ASX 200 index, which fell roughly 2% since the invasion, compared to 7% drop of MSCI Asia Pacific Index. Next comes Malaysia. So in a turbulent global market, the investors are actually trying to find shelter in the Malaysian market. So Malaysia is an exporter of oil and crude oil, and since the war began, Malaysian stock, bond and currencies are outperforming their peers. So the soaring commodity prices are expected to boost the Malaysia's current account surplus as well. And like Malaysia, Indonesia is another country that is resource rich. Indonesia is one of the world's top exporters of palm oil. So the Jakarta Composite Index has outperformed the other Asian markets as well, and Indonesian rupiah is the gainer among Asian currencies since the Ukraine invasion. Let's look at some of the countries that are dependent on oil, especially the India. So India imports about 85% of its oil needs, and as a result, their current account balance are expected to deteriorate. And foreign investors are selling stocks at record pace. So due to the outflow of capital, Indian rupee went to record low as well. And some of the sell side companies are double downgrading the Indian stocks to underweight. Like India, South Korea is also a big oil importer. And like India, they are also witnessing foreign sell-off and weakening of the currency. So let's look at another country which is dependent on tourism, that's Thailand. And Thailand's recovery is in danger due to this war, because at the beginning of the year they were expecting recovery in terms of tourism, but Russians were the largest group of travelers in Thailand, and because of this war broke out, the likely loss of Russian tourists will be another blow to the economy, and their market is also affected due to this Russian invasion. So what happens due to different geopolitical events not just affect one asset class, it affect other asset classes as well, and especially with respect to oil, which is extremely volatile in nature, and oil becoming the major raw materials of many types of productions. So countries that are dependent on oil are expecting their current account balances to deteriorate, and in many cases their stock markets are reacting due to that, and many foreign investors are selling off shares because of this. The market will continue to evolve and volatility will be greatest during these geopolitical shocks. So let's see how this episode of oil price turn around. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.